This
We are
conference
recording.
will now be recorded.
Good evening. My name is Sally Torgerson. I have multiple myeloma. I was diagnosed in 2018. I am now in refractory relapse, and I will start a bite on Tuesday of next week. And if I could tell you what the drug was, I would, but I can't remember because I have no brain left. But it starts with an E, and it's the brand new one. If I remember it before the end of the program, I'll let you know. But I'd like to go around and see if anybody has need for time and say hi to everybody and wish Rick very healthy news. So, Mr. Marshall, Captain Marshall.
Yeah, I got an update on my sister who has multiple myeloma.
Great. Okay. How about you? How are you doing?
Oh, I thought this was just a poll for the update.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Well, I can do an update on me too at the same
We'll do
time.
both of them. There's
So
only
should I
5
do
of
it
us.
now?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were going to go around and then go back. Okay, I'm Jim Marshall, Alexandria, Virginia. I'm here because of my sister who has multiple myeloma, and she is out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it got essentially into her spinal cord, and it got up within the brain, so she had surgery.
Can we do
And
Barb
so,
later? I'm looking for your input. How are you?
oh, well, wait, I was going to do her first.
No,
No,
let's go around for everybody and then come back.
that's what I thought we were going to do. So let's proceed, and then I will come back again.
Okay. Sorry. I have
No
a cold.
problem.
I'm on drugs.
Oh, okay.
Mary
Next.
Lou, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm doing very well. Mary Lou, I'm from West Springfield, Mass. I have MDS, but I'm doing very well. I'm very pleased, very blessed.
You look well.
Thank you.
Would you like some time?
No, I'm good.
Barbell, good morning again.
Good morning. I have a little bit to say.
Okay.
Oh, Lynda, hi.
Hi, Lynda. Welcome.
Hello. How are you?
We're fine. Would you like some time later to expound?
Please.
You may have it.
Thank you.
Mike, I know we can't see you and can't hear you, but would you like any time to ask questions or respond?
Yeah, I asked Mike in the chat if there were any questions. No, just listening. Okay, if you change your mind or want to add your thoughts about something we're talking about, just do it in the chat.
We can get there. Okay, Jim, now we can go back to Barbara. Jim, Marshall, you're on mute.
We haven't done Lynda yet. Have
Yes,
we?
we did.
Oh.
Yes, we
Okay,
did.
so.
Yes.
Okay, hey. It's been a long week here. Okay, so getting back to my sister first, multiple myeloma for a number of years, and it traveled up through the spinal cord into the brain, and she had a tumor up there, and she had surgery, but they did not get it all, so she had to go back for radiation, and she just finished that about a week and a half ago. She had 5 sessions with that, and she's also doing chemo at the same time. And she seems to be doing a lot better. At least now, she can at least talk intelligently most of the time. Because before, as it got up within the brain, her brain and her speech were totally disconnected, and it was extremely frustrating for her. So anyway, as I said, she's not doing bad now.
Good.
Prognosis, I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's still there in the brain, and so I don't know if it will start up again. We hope not.
Good.
Then in my case, how am I doing? Well, I am a prostate cancer stage 4 person that was under treatment for 3 years for it, and I have been on a treatment holiday now for approaching 3 years. And there's bad news and good news. The bad news is because of the treatment that I'm on, my testicles have decided not to function anymore, and testicles provide testosterone, which is the disease's food. The good news is if they were starting to produce testosterone, I would have to get a shot to shut them back down. So the good news is I don't have to get the shot. So it's just, I am just coasting at this time into 3 years, and it's really nice not to be encountering hot flashes, ladies. I endured those for many years, although I still occasionally will have them at night.
Use
So
black
I will have
Colash.
to, what?
Black Colash will help with the hot flashes.
Say that again now.
Black Colash. I'll put it in the chat. Will help with.
Black Colash. Is that a animal,
Herb.
vegetable, or
It's an herb, and
mineral?
you can get it at CVS.
Black Colash. Yes, please do. There are a lot of gentlemen who, in the other groups, or in the prostate cancer groups, who are undergoing medical castration, are also getting to enjoy hot flashes, right? So anyway, otherwise I'm doing quite well. Also, just in case anybody out there hears this, at the foundation here, there is a veteran support group, which I run. And so I am the leader of it. And what we do is to get veterans everything that they are entitled to out of the VA, because I'm very well versed on the VA. I have decoded them, and I am 300% disabled according to the VA. And you can get more than 100% money-wise. So anyway, so
Thank you,
anybody
Jim.
who's interested, you can look on our site, www.ancan.org/veterans. And we meet 2 times a month on a Tuesday night. Thank you.
Well, hi, Mary. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Mary, do you have anything you'd like to talk about later?
No, I don't.
You look great. I'm happy to see that.
Thanks.
I hope you feel as good as you look.
I do.
Good. Nancy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I don't have anything either.
Well, great. That means everybody's feeling good. Okay, Barbell, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, but my problem are my feet, and I have a terrible rash, on my feet. Lynda, you have the Schnitzel syndrome also, with the IgM. Do you have skin issues as well, right?
I
Do you
do.
have everywhere or just in parts of the body?
It shows up in different parts of the body.
It does. Oh, well,
hmm
with me, it's only the legs, but the legs are kind of bad. I get blister-like little blisters filled with water, and they heal very badly. And well, I
What
look a bit funny.
causes this, Barbell?
You mean the blisters? What size they are? Different
No,
sizes.
no. What
Sometimes they're
causes
big.
it? What
Huh?
causes it? What causes it?
Well, it started after I had COVID actually, but they say that the IgM travels to the skin and does this. So because I have Waldenström also, uh, it could very well be that it's from this, but it's a bit strange because I don't have it anywhere else. A little bit on the arms, but very, maybe one or two, very little. But the legs are full.
Do you have the itching with it too?
Yes.
Okay, because the this is over the counter. It's going to sound strange when I say it, but there is a diaper rash ointment that they recommended that I use, and I have to tell you, it works wonders.
Okay. Well, they gave me some lotion, in the clinic, but it doesn't work that well.
Right.
So,
This diaper rash.
Can you put that in the chat, Lynda,
Yeah,
please?
I'm gonna go get the name of it. I'll be right back. I'll get the name of it and type it in for you. But it works amazingly.
Thank you.
uh-huh.
Okay.
I wonder if it'll help my neuropathy feet that burn all night.
And you know what I found out too, that it's worse when it's warm. For example, when I sleep and I have the bed sheets over it, it gets worse. Do you have that too?
She's going to get the name of the rash.
Okay, she's getting the name.
How's everything else? You look fantastic.
Well, the blood is good,
Yeah.
IgM, I don't know yet. I have been to the clinic, but I didn't get a report yet. I have another appointment again in July, but I think I will have another one. I have a doctor come to my house to take some blood work and probably have it done in between because my diseases don't stick to the 3 months appointments. When I relapse, it's always in between, so that's why I decided to have an extra checkup.
Well, I'm so happy to see you looking so well.
Well, I looked very bad before. Nobody
Well, you
thought I
were
would
going through a
survive,
long,
Not even my brothers and my relatives, nobody did. But
well, you went through a long period of,
yeah,
being really sick.
I'm really a long time patient at my clinic. I don't think anybody is there that long because usually they get their treatment and they leave and they go to their local oncologist or something. But I'm there now since 1917, and then 2017. Sorry. So
Lynda
it's
has
quite
put
some
the name
years.
of the rash ointment and powder in the chat for anybody else who might be interested. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
Lynda.
I have to look at that because it's very aggravating, especially at night, because I wake up and then I start scratching my legs and then it starts bleeding and oh no, it's not very nice.
Anything else, Barbell?
No, not really.
You just look great. I'm
I,
so happy to hear that.
yeah, that's always when the blood work is good. I always look good.
And she's a rock star in our creative writing group too.
Wow. When are we going to hear some of it?
Yeah. My GP said I should write a book, but I'm not really into writing a book, but I like to write.
That's good. Lynda, what's going on with you?
Just a couple of things. I'm still not. My treatment plan was put on pause because I had this cold that lasted for 7 weeks, and my blood labs were just like all over the place. But I met with the hematologist yesterday, and we talked about my neutropenia, how we were going to treat that. What did that look like? But one thing came up in my labs, which was surprising. She called me this morning, was that I have a B12 deficiency. And I was just curious if anybody else has that, a B12 deficiency.
I don't know if I have a deficiency, but they made sure that I take B12 every day.
It can be, you can have a B12 deficiency also. For example, when you don't eat meat, sometimes you have it.
Okay, and I'm a vegetarian, so I was really surprised when that came up in the labs when she called me this morning. But she's going to speak with the other doctors, and they're going to try to get me back on the Kineret. So I'll know that next Thursday for sure what we're going to do, and then looking at a treatment for the osteoporosis, which I seem to have developed since last year, like all over the body, like all over my bones, is contributing to the bone pain. So those are going to be the two things that we're going to look at next week when I meet with the doctors. But I was curious about the B12 because that was kind of surprising to me.
Hmm. Well, I'm also on a whole plant diet. I do eat fish, but not a lot. And so actually, I don't eat a lot of anything. But so they put me on B12 about a year and a half ago.
Okay, well, I had an appointment with the gastro doctor with regards to my liver, which I think I had mentioned last month, and he has me now off of all provocative foods. And there's a whole list of provocative foods that I didn't even know. I didn't know what provocative foods were.
What is
Until he
provocative
told me.
food?
So yeah, so for 6 weeks I'm off of provocative foods, but because I don't eat, because I am a vegetarian and I don't eat fish or eggs that often, like maybe once or twice a month. I don't know if that's just kind of contributing to everything else that's going on, but the provocative diet for 6 weeks, and that includes caffeine, um, is also part of my new treatment plan until I start, I guess, with the Kineret.
What is a provocative diet? What is a provocative food?
Okay, so provocative foods include things like celery, ginger, honey, um, chili, chocolate, nuts. Uh, it's just like this whole list. I never knew these were provocative foods. Coffee, so, and I am a coffee drinker, even though my coffee intake had been reduced because of the treatment that I was on last fall. He's saying like no more than a cup. I drink a mug, which is about 2.5 cups, but he said no more than a cup, a couple of times a week, not every day. No chocolate. Uh, that's on the provocative list as well.
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to think of what the relationship between I can see the coffee chocolate relationship, but honey. I mean, that's such a wonderful antibacterial,
I know.
immune. It's a
Ginger, same thing with ginger. I mean,
and
those,
ginger. Yeah.
yeah. So when I was looking at the list, and those are things that are part of my diet. And then I also got it's called the Yuka app. I'll put it in chat. And I don't know if anybody else is using that. It is a game changer for me. It is a game changer.
Good or
Um,
bad?
in a good way, because most of my foods are like good up to excellent, but certain things like the almond milk or the oat milk that I was drinking rated very low on this app, and so now I've switched over to, it's called Malk, Malk, or Malk, I guess how you pronounce it. So I've tried that, and that's working out well. So the provocative diet, the Yuka app, and the B12 are my things until I see the doctor. Well, I see one doctor next week, and then we're going to make some determinations when we're going to resume treatment.
Good. I've learned a lot from you today.
Thank you.
I started herbalism about 6 months ago, and after reading about 5 of my 30 books I've got, I'm starting to make tinctures and doing more of the herbal rather than loading myself with NSAIDs and things like that. It's been an amazing journey. So,
Lynda, why did the app rate the Malk higher than the almond or other milks that you were having?
I have no idea because the brand that I was using two. I was either Trader Joe's has an almond blend, and then once in a while I would do the Dream, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
the Trader Joe's got like poor. That was a poor rating. The I think it's like Almond Dream and something else. They rate it like maybe good, but the Malk, the Malk, I'll put it in chat, is the one that rated the highest. and it comes in like several different flavors. And then my yogurt I had to change because my yogurt was also rated like just good, but not excellent. So I went for the excellent. And what they were explaining to me is that you have to think about all the chemicals that they're using to treat the body and how certain chemicals and how certain foods are processed interfere or could interfere
Mhm.
with what you're taking, what you're being treated with.
I'm curious, like, what about anybody else? Has anyone done anything like Lynda did or is doing right now? Or are you sensitive to certain foods? Are you on a special diet?
Is that Malk almond based?
You can get it. It comes almond,
Mary,
original,
I'm putting
and
it in
something
chat
else.
right now.
Oh,
Yeah, it comes in three different. It comes original, almond, and I think one other. But I got the original, and actually, it's pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
There you go. In chat is the difference between regular almond milk and Malk. Because I'd never heard of it either.
I definitely use the Yuka app, especially in the grocery store, when I'm just looking and curious about products that I don't actually use or what want to see how they rate. Um, and I'm not vegetarian, or I'm pretty much a pretty big meat eater. But I try, like, we raise our own cattle, so I know what they've eaten. I try and be very in tune with the processing and the chemicals that
What's the
Lynda,
matter
you were
with
talking about.
What's the
And
matter, baby?
so but I also use an app called MyFitnessPal, and
Yeah, I use
it
that too.
yeah I use it to just because I didn't really understand how many calories were in food, what kind of calories were in food, and macronutrients. And so I wanted to, it's taken me a couple of years to really understand it. I understand it a lot more now. I still use the app though, because the app really helps me see. And I have a certain percentage of protein, carbohydrates, and fat that I want to get each day. And so that's how I track that. Um, and just trying to stay away from things that aren't good, regardless of whether or not someone has cancer, but just any of the white things, white rice, white flour, white potatoes, white bread,
Sugar. White sugar.
and yeah, and sugar, of course. Sugar is a really big one. And there's just, I think for me, I'm just trying to balance and watch my chemistry. I get a lot of labs, and so if I have a nutritionalist, and if he tells me, why don't you try this or check this, or next time you run labs, he thought my phosphorus might be low, it might have something to do with my parathyroid system, so he had him do a test to look at that. Turns out it's great, so that's good. I know it's not that. But the same thing for like B12, vitamin D, just keeping up with what those look like, and talking to all like I have several. I have a PCP, and then I have my hematologist oncologist, who, it's odd, but the most scientific group of doctors that I see are the least knowledgeable of supplements and nutrition.
I
So
believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
so my PCP is pretty good and wants to, always learn. And then I actually have a nutritionalist that works very highly with cancer patients. So he worked at Texas Oncology at one point. And so he really has an understanding of when I tell him what treatment I'm on. And he's a scientist too. So he's going to go, and he read all about venetoclax and obinutuzumab. He knew what was happening to my body with those, probably more so than I did, because I am not a scientist. And that's another reason that I've actually found a nutritionalist, is because I just don't have the capacity to learn all that at this point in my life. So,
And we'll see, and that's helpful for me because I'm gonna check out, because one of the things too is that I have labs every week, so my arms are just taking a beating. But with the treatment that I was on last fall, I lost my taste.
mm,
And so there are things sometimes that I'm eating that I can't taste. I really don't taste it. And I was out for Easter with some friends and ordered a cheesecake, and the cheesecake was made with peanut butter. And I'm allergic to peanuts, EpiPen
oh
peanuts.
my goodness.
And I just had like I looked at it and said, why is this like brownish color? And I just had like a little forkful, but the person I was with tasted it and they were like, no, it's peanut butter. And it was just like a whole big big thing going on between the waiter
Right.
and everybody. And I asked specifically, like no nuts and anything that mean like no nuts. Like I was clear about that. So when the dessert came, he didn't know that there's peanut butter. It was made with peanut butter. It
Yeah.
wasn't until the manager came and told me that the baker changes up the cheesecake every week. And I said, but if it's got peanuts is like a big allergy. So that's something that
Exactly.
should have been on the menu. It shouldn't have just been cheesecake. It should have been like peanut butter cheesecake because I would have never ordered it.
Right. Right. Well,
One of
I
the best,
really,
one of the best apps, that's not an app, but resources for supplements and their do's and don'ts with other drugs is the Mount Sinai website. They list almost every herb and every supplement you can think of and how they affect the body, what they're good for, and if there are any counterintuitive reactions.
Okay.
Sally, I think you're thinking of the MSKCC, not Mount Sinai. It's
That's
the
Mount Sinai.
Memorial Sloan Kettering website, and it is really, really good. I'll put the link in the chat window.
But there's also one on Mount Sinai. I use that for all my herbal medicines.
Okay.
hey,
So there's two.
it's great. Thank you. I have not come across those yet. So that it's always great to have a place where you can check.
And thanks, Rick. I didn't know about the other one.
Oh yeah, no, it's the MSKCC one is excellent, and one thing it has, it's not just herbs. It includes a lot of supplements, and it also has a physician's and a patient's separation, and it lists all the contraindications.
Right. That's
So
like Mount Sinai's as well.
okay, I'll look at the Mount Sinai too. I'm just checking for the MSKCC link.
And I'll find Mount Sinai.
Okay.
It's in my herbal stuff.
Okay.
Anything else about diet? Okay.
I will just say, because I've been writing the reminder for the prostate cancer piece for next week, and I just wrote up a whole bunch on diet. Some of it I think can go in the other reminders. I've got to look and send them on to Alexa and Kiernan. But it's interesting that both in an article that I read, which reported on AICR, the American Institute of Cancer Research, and also in an MSKCC article, they both suggested that up to a third of a plant-based diet should be coming from protein and even animal products, which I was surprised about.
The only thing I watch is that I get organic food. I watch my food too. a special diet, no.
Mm.
And every year they list what they call the dirty dozen, that you can just Google the dirty dozen and it'll tell you the 12 most toxic, I guess, or most chemical vegetables and fruits. And I think like strawberries is number one, and my grandkids love strawberries.
Apples are number two.
Yeah, and strawberries are on the provocative list.
And then there are things that you don't have to worry about so much too. So that's a good list to have.
So Lynda, I looked up the provocative list, and so just for those who don't have to stay off those foods, those are all the sexy foods. They're aphrodisiacs.
Yeah, I looked that up and I was like, interesting. All right. Sally, who was next?
That's all that wanted to speak, and I just lost the Mount Sinai list. So I'm looking it up again.
Sally, is the Mount Sinai a search engine, or is it just because I can see something and it's a list that says vitamins and it goes, but it doesn't.
I got it. It's the, hold on, I just had it. My computer is dying, so I'm, oh, I'll get it.
So I just put the MSKCC link in where for the search, not for anything specific. So you'll find it there. And you can, it says about herbs, but it includes a lot of supplements and like alpha lipoic acid and different stuff. But you'll find it in there. And it's pretty useful.
We have a question because Ben was talking about hot flashes earlier, and Sally recommended Black Cohosh. Do we have is Black Cohosh used in prostate cancer patients?
Yeah, I mean, Black Cohosh is suggested, but it's not consistently effective. I'm trying to think if any of the supplements really, frankly, what we recommend the most is the Ember device, because we've had more people find satisfaction with that Ember device than anything else. It's like a little watch that goes on that you wear on your wrist, and it has the it senses when you're about to get a change in temperature, hot or cold, and then it makes adjustments, and it also comes with a night application as well so if you wear it when you're sleeping, and it does seem to work, and there's been studies on it too.
And for everybody, not just
for men and women. I mean, it was developed for women, and then they use it now. A lot of the guys use it. I can't remember the statistics. I do have them. But it's pretty effective. I'm not sure the statistics for the men and the women are exactly the same either, but it definitely works. I can put a link. I can put an Ember link in.
That'd be great.
Let me just. Okay, let me find my Ember link. And the best place to buy it now is probably Costco has them, and they're a deal. You can get them from Amazon. You can get them directly off the website. Uh, here's the Ember link. Who was it that was having trouble?
Jim was talking about hot flashes, so we started talking about hot flashes and black cohosh. So I was curious because I know a lot of women take black cohosh because it can help with some menstrual issues and hot flashes. I was curious while you were here if we knew anything about black cohosh and ADT or prostate cancer.
Yeah, I mean, it's been recommended forever. I remember it being recommended. I think it's in the Essiac tea as well. Some people use that Essiac tea, and I think black cohosh is part of that. I just put the Ember Labs, the Ember device in there. So if you're having issues, it's definitely a good. It's probably the best thing. The rest of the stuff, I don't know. I mean, there are drugs too. How good they are, I don't know. And most people don't want to be taking more drugs when they're already taking drugs.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes, and of course, the guys now this is just for the guys, but for the guys who are doing their hormone therapy through estrogen patches, they have a lot less problem with hot flashes than the guys who are just cutting off their testosterone.
Well, thank you for that. I know we went through everyone who said that they needed time tonight, but at AnCan, especially if you have a smaller group, you can change your mind. So I don't know if potentially, like, did anything we talk about spur like, oh, I had a question, or there's something I wanted to bring up, or did you forget to bring up something in your time?
You're a very silent group tonight. Oh
Yeah, I know.
What's going on? Mary Lou, I've heard nothing from you. Although it's nice to see you smile like that.
Yeah, Mary Lou looks great. She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm feeling well.
Good. Well, that's good.
That's always a good thing.
Yes.
Always.
Look, I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Miss Alexa because I want to get over to the group that I like to be in as a participant, which is about halfway through now, which is the men speaking freely. With all you ladies here, I hope some of you are attending Alexa's group, Women Speaking Freely. Are any of you going to Women Speaking Freely? Not you, Jim. You're not allowed, Jim. Jim can go to Veterans Speak. We have a new group for
Jim's
veterans.
not welcome. He's been embargoed from the group.
Yeah, but we have a Veterans Speaking Freely group now too. But I do recommend these Speaking Freely groups. They're really good. They're really, really good. So if you're not on the list, tell Alexa and she'll just add you so that you get a reminder. It's the third Monday. At 1:30
Eastern.
Yeah, so it's a morning group, and they're really worthwhile. That would even be a sensible time for Barbell to join. 1:30 Eastern. That would be like 7:30. I mean, that's a reasonable time,
It is.
I know. All right, I'm going to leave you guys and see you next month. And I wish you all well. I hope you have a good month. Goodbye.
Bye.
So one of the other things that I did in lab work recently, and it was based off of being on a support call and hearing people talking about measles. And of course, I'm in Texas, so we're kind of the hot spot for measles right now. But so in one of those groups, they asked if we knew if we had any titers, anything to protect ourselves from the measles. And so my PCP ran, I guess, measles, mumps, and rubella titers to see. And I actually ended up, I didn't think I was going to have any because I don't remember if I had measles, but I was definitely in that age where some of the people who I've heard were vaccinated in the 1960s didn't have anything. But I did. And so I was very happy to find out. And I'm just curious if any of you guys have thought about the measles and how, are you taking any kind of extra precautions in terms
I
of
had
that?
my titers done as well. And like you, I was very surprised that I had anything because I've gone through a stem cell transplant. And of course, all the other drugs in the last 6 years. And my measles were fine. I have measles, I have COVID, I have lots of them, except shingles. So I'm on a cyclopharm twice a day.
Yeah, I'm still on that as well.
I am too.
I don't mind taking it. I just don't want shingles.
Amen. Yes, no, that's bad. It's very
Yes, really
painful.
bad.
I had shingles during my therapy, the OD treatment, but it wasn't bad at all.
Oh,
But
I have a friend who had shingles almost 7 months ago, and it still hurts.
yeah, oh, does it? No, it didn't hurt.
He had it
that
across his chest,
Mm.
and he can't.
that's
Sometimes he can't even wear a light T-shirt. It hurts so much.
Mm.
I had it on my leg, my left
Well,
leg.
and some people get it in their eye.
Yes.
Oh, and the eye is bad.
So
So
But they
I've
never
been,
tested me for any titters for my vaccinations. I have no idea, but it sounds like I have some. If you all have it, I probably have it also.
yeah. So I'm curious if, like, I've been off treatment now for a year, and I feel so good. But I feel like I need to I need to remind myself to be cautious about, because I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of let my guard down, and I'd love to hear how you guys do. Do any of you still wear a mask when you go out, or?
I've even
And
flown without a mask in the last month, except I have a cold now. So I've been paid back.
I was gonna say maybe you're our example. Yeah, we're getting ready to travel across country, and we're not gonna fly. We're gonna drive.
Have
So
fun.
yeah, I think I mean, we've done this before, and I'm just, I don't want to, I don't want to feel like I'm completely, but I am living life pretty open right now. So
Are you taking IVIG at all?
no, I don't need it.
Well, you're lucky. So
Yeah, well, I did the real first line treatment, 1 year of venetoclax, 6 months of obinutuzumab to start with, and it did exactly what it said and knocked it as far into remission as they can see right now.
see, venetoclax for a year did absolutely nothing for me.
And isn't it amazing how different everything is? I mean, like, every person is so unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of amazing. Mary Lou, are you on treatment right now?
Yes. I'm on a clinical trial. So it's dazocytidine and venetoclax. So I have it 5 days of the dazocytidine 5 days a week, and then I take 14 days of venetoclax. And then I'm off for 4 weeks.
Is the first thing you mentioned an infusion, or is it a pill?
Infusion.
Oh.
Do
Yes.
either of you need a bottle of venetoclax? I have one.
Now,
No,
right
thank you.
now, the trial's paying for mine, so
I was going to say, what do I do with these drugs that never work and I still have a full bottle of them?
don't get rid of them. I don't know if they're going to put me on it after or not. I'll let you know.
Thanks.
And I think a bottle of venetoclax is like $10,000.
Oh, I also have a bottle of Revlimid, which is $22,000.
It's ridiculous. Isn't it ridiculous?
So my husband had a PET scan 2 weeks ago. We got the thing from the insurance and all. His PET scan was $25,000. And I mean, it's like, that was a lot of money for a little bit of time. And it's
Well, I
interesting.
can never remember why one Revlimid pill is $1,000.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you
And
realize
it's expensive too. I mean, the scan is here 2,000 euros maybe.
That's amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
so
where they get the prices?
they're not going to pay him that. I mean, it's interesting. Jim, what do you think about finances? I always like to hear what guys think about finances because.
Well, it just so happens I got referred out of the Veterans Affairs Hospital over to Johns Hopkins, okay? And all I got was 4 of the blood tests, right? And I see the bill at the hospital, I have it right here, that they billed the VA for 1 blood test, $366, right? Now, the VA, by law, whatever they allow must be accepted as a final payment. So the VA paid them $10.56.
Oh no!
The same for a $550 blood test. What it was, they don't say. And the VA paid them $25.81.
So far apart.
Well, that's how it is. I don't know.
Well, I just saw the bill for a CAR-T. It was $450,000.
Right. So that's why I say you can never have too much health insurance,
I
and
agree.
trying to cheap out for $1,000 or $2,000 a year is not worth it, because as you see, one scan can be just outrageous.
Well, that could just change a person's whole life. I mean, if they
Oh,
were
absolutely.
responsible for it, it could bankrupt their whole life.
Definitely. And I don't really see what the price is. I mean, where they get the prices, because it's not a drug or so that they have to manufacture. It's actually just something that they use.
Well, a lot of it has to do with, especially in the hospitals, that they cannot turn away anybody for any reason. So I know over at the hospital that I was referred to, they have a lot of people that cannot pay, and they have to see them. They have to treat them. They don't have a choice by law. So somehow they have to
So the others
get
have to pay for it, you mean?
something, and so
Oh,
everybody else happens to pay for it eventually.
well, we have the same thing here. We have with the private insurances, they also have to pay more, but not that much more.
Oh no, it is a thing, because you can, if you can't pay, you can go in there and negotiate.
I was first diagnosed in 2018. I did not have Part D on my Medicare because I was healthy. I mean, I didn't think I needed it. So I paid $65,000 out of pocket for my Revlimid because it was a pill and was not covered on Medicare Part A or B. All my scans and everything were paid for, but not
Right.
pills. So I paid $65,000 out of pocket the first year.
Did you have that much savings?
Yeah.
One of
I was
I
fortunate
don't
that
know
I
how
had
you remedy. What was the remedy? Did you get a third part to your Medicare?
it. In January, I got Part D, which is for the oral medicines,
Yeah, for the drugs.
for the drugs. Yeah, oral drugs. All the
Right.
intravenous drugs and all the scans were paid for because it was Medicare Part B, but not the oral drugs. And of course, now with you know Musk and all his babies, they're trying to cut back on all this Medicare stuff, all Medicare payments, and it's really a mess. They tried to put me on a generic about 3 months ago. I took 4 pills and broke out in the worst rash and itching you ever saw in your life with lenalidomide. And so my specialist had to go and get a special dispensation from Medicare to go back on the original Revlimid.
Yeah.
I don't like insurance companies telling me what drugs I can take and what drugs I can't take. I'd rather have a doctor doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that
the new
that
step up that they want, Medicare also wants the doctors to do step up medication, which is start with the lowest, least expensive drug, see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then go to the next one. But you can waste a year, trying all the lower value drugs, and you could be getting worse and worse and worse rather than going to the top tier to start with. So anyway, there's a great group called Patients Rising, which is a patient-driven advocacy group. And to be honest with you, I was in a 12-week masterclass to learn how to advocate, for multiple myeloma patients in Washington and in the state of Indiana. I got through about 6 weeks of it, and believe me, it was over my head, and I'm smart. So, and it was too much time. I don't mind writing letters, but I don't feel like going to Washington and talking to Congress people. But I will support them and do everything I can. So if you're interested in advocacy, go look at Patients Rising. I'm too tired to do it anymore. Something happened on my 80th birthday. I just got tired.
I did too. Well, I didn't get tired. I just slowed down.
Yeah, I've slowed down
Yeah.
because I'm tired. Somebody asked me if I wanted to go on a cruise with them, and I don't know what month it was, and looked at him, I said, no, I don't care where it is. I don't want to fly more than 3 hours at a time. And this would have been like 7 hours, but I'm just tired. So maybe after the bite therapy, I'll feel better, but I'm ready to slow down. But Mary, I'll keep checking on you. Coaching is still very important to me. Alexa, I have nothing else. And it's 9 o'clock, and I'm ready to go to bed.
Great. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share?
Alexa, quiet.
Oh, now you're not talking to me like that, Sally.
No, Miss Jett, I'm not. I'm talking to the two
Yes.
others in the room that keep answering me.
Yes. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to share or talk about before we go? No. Okay, if not, then we will see you next month.
And Alexa, you can tell Rick I have the list, and I'll send it to him.
Perfect. Oh, you can send it to Karen. Bye, everybody. Good night.